2, 1, let's go! Yeah! 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 Hold that shit down! Hold that shit down! From the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night, you are running. You are running from the very thing that could be the solution to all of your problems. You get high, you get drunk, you indulge. You surround yourself with distractions because you are afraid to be alone with your thoughts. You've taken the most powerful weapon that you possess and you've managed to weaponize it against yourself. Your mind. Don't you understand? If you can't control your thoughts, then you cannot control your actions. Therefore, you are not in control of your life. How many times in a day? Matter of fact, how many times just today alone before you even clicked on this video have you talked yourself or thought yourself out of making a decision that was in your own best interest? Whether it was not waking up in time or failing to complete a task, these self-destructive behaviors are a direct result of your inability to discipline your mind. See, throughout your life, little seeds have been planted. Seeds of self-doubt, seeds of insecurity, seeds of chaos. You have been programmed. And that's not your fault. But at some point, you have to take back your life.
Social media, our modern window to the world, where millions showcase their best lives daily. But what happens when the person teaching others how to live becomes trapped in their own darkness? What if the smile brightening your screen belongs to someone whose light is quietly fading? This is the story of Raven Jackson, a 24-year-old fitness influencer and mental health advocate from Canton, Mississippi, whose life ended tragically in September 2022. A woman who built an empire from scratch, amassed hundreds of thousands of followers, and spent her days teaching others how to love themselves, while secretly battling demons of her own. Just days before her death, Raven posted a video about transforming lives. A 2-week commitment could be what's standing between you and your highest self, she told her followers. Her infectious smile and boundless energy touched the screens of over 340,000 Instagram followers and 222,000 TikTok fans. She was the embodiment of Black excellence, a successful entrepreneur, a fitness guru, a mental health advocate, all by the age of 24. But beneath that carefully curated image of success lay a truth that would shock her followers to their core. A truth that would force us to question everything we think we know about the people we follow, the content we consume, and the masks we wear in our digital age. Earlier that same year, Raven had written something chilling on her Facebook page. Even if I die tomorrow, I don't want anyone to feel guilt for not talking to me. That's probably what I wanted. The words now stand as a haunting prophecy of what was to come. This isn't just another story about a social media influencer's tragic end. This is a story about the weight of appearing perfect in an imperfect world. About building an empire while crumbling inside. About speaking on mental health while fighting your own battles in silence. And most importantly, about how someone who seemed to have everything, beauty, success, influence, love, could feel so utterly alone. The truth is, Raven Jackson's story begins long before her rise to social media fame. It starts in the halls of Jacksonville State University, where a young woman with big dreams decided to create something revolutionary, a program called Real Talk with Raven. The irony of her creation would only become apparent later, as the woman who taught others how to speak about their struggles would ultimately lose her own battle in silence. In 2017, as a college student, Raven hosted her first seminar called The Power of Perception. Standing before hundreds of her peers, she shared a deeply personal truth, that she had never known what true love felt like because she'd never heard those words as a child. It was a moment of raw honesty that would set the tone for her entire career, though few could have guessed how prophetic those words would become. She was the girl who created book giveaways for students who couldn't afford textbooks, the one who organized mental health forums and sat on panels, the same person who would later build a fitness empire from scratch, handling everything from graphic design to customer service, all while maintaining a perfect image online. "I cannot afford to fail," she once said in a video. "I don't have a safety net. If it's some problems over here, I don't have nobody to help me." But here's what makes this story even more compelling. While Raven was building her empire and sharing messages of hope and transformation, she was also dating Chicago rapper 600 Breezy, entangled in a web of complex relationships and fighting a private battle with PCOS that left her in constant pain. Doctors dismissed her symptoms, prescribing Tylenol for pain that kept her awake at night. The woman who taught others to speak up was being silenced by the very healthcare system she trusted. As we unravel the layers of Raven Jackson's story, we'll discover how someone who seemed to have mastered the art of living could feel so out of place in this world. How someone who preached self-love could be drowning in self-doubt. And most importantly, how someone who saved so many others through her mental health advocacy couldn't save herself. This is the story that will make you question every motivational post you've ever liked, every influencer you've ever followed, and every smile you've ever assumed was genuine. Because sometimes the people teaching us how to live are the ones struggling most with life itself. But before we delve deeper into Raven's final days, we need to understand the empire she built, the barriers she broke, and the battles she fought, both in public and in private. Because this isn't just a story about death. It's a story about life, about dreams, about the price of perfection, and about the masks we wear while scrolling through our social media feeds. This is the story of Raven Jackson, a story that will make you think twice about the next time someone says, "I'm fine," and make you question whether the strongest people in your life might be the ones who need your support the most. For Raven Jackson, behind the polished Instagram posts and motivational TikToks was a young woman working tirelessly to create something meaningful. Go crazy. Fitness wasn't just another fitness brand. It was Raven's vision of making fitness accessible to everyone. Fitness for everyone because anyone can be a F-it girl, her brand proclaimed. And people believed in her vision. By March of that year, her fitness page had already amassed 5,000 followers. By September, that number had nearly doubled. But what set Raven apart wasn't just her workout routines or her fitness wear. It was her authenticity in an industry often criticized for promoting unrealistic standards. She was proud to show off her naturally achieved physique, becoming what many Black women considered body goals, a slim waist and curves without surgical enhancement. Her approach was refreshingly different. No quick fixes, no miracle solutions, just dedicated hard work and consistent effort. What many didn't realize was that while Raven was building this fitness empire, she was doing it entirely alone. I do my own graphic design, website design, branding, marketing, processing, packaging, shipping, product design, package design, digital program design, customer service, ambassador outreach, promotion, taxes, and I even shoot my own content with a tripod, she once revealed in a moment of vulnerability. No manager, no one to even call and ask for business advice because I just don't come from that. The weight of being a one-woman show was immense, but Raven carried it with grace that masked her struggle. Her videos showed her working out on beautiful beaches, modeling her fitness wear, and leading boot camps with infectious energy. But between these perfectly curated shots were countless hours of solitary work, endless nights of planning, and the constant pressure of knowing there was no safety net beneath her high-wire act of entrepreneurship. Then came the physical challenges that would test her resilience. After multiple visits to doctors who dismissed her concerns, Raven finally found a female physician who listened. The diagnosis? Polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. For those unfamiliar with this condition, PCOS affects over 200,000 women annually, causing hormonal imbalances that can lead to depression, irregular periods, weight issues, and fertility problems. But true to her nature as an educator and advocate, Raven turned her diagnosis into content that could help others, creating vlogs about managing PCOS through diet and lifestyle changes. Yet behind these educational videos was a woman grappling with her own mortality and future. In one particularly candid TikTok, she expressed her fears about childbirth, not just because of the pain, but because she was already dealing with chronic pain on a daily basis. These moments of honesty, scattered between her motivational content, offered rare glimpses into her inner struggles. The isolation became more apparent as her success grew. "Support is everything," she wrote in a heartfelt post. "My own family will be minutes away from my events, but have never been to a single one. My own city has yet to acknowledge me outside of my relationship to a man." The pain in these words is palpable. Here was a woman creating spaces for others to heal while longing for her own support system. Despite these challenges, or perhaps because of them, Raven pushed herself harder. "I'm on my way to making my first six figures this year," she declared proudly. "I'm a 24-year-old black woman from Canton, Mississippi, and next year my goal is $1 million." Her drive was fueled not just by ambition, but by necessity. As she often reminded her followers, when you don't have anybody to save you, you move different. You stop being so careless. You stop moving so frivolously. You stop being so generous with your time because you know how important it is. But success in business couldn't fill the void of emotional support. Her relationship with 600 Breezy, while appearing picture-perfect on social media, was complicated by distance and drama. The rapper's ongoing public disputes with his alleged baby mama, Queen Key, cast shadows over their relationship. Though Raven never publicly engaged in the drama, the tension seeped into her private life. Perhaps most telling was her approach to her mental health advocacy program, Real Talk with Raven. While helping others navigate their darkest moments, she was silently battling her own demons. In one particularly poignant response to a follower struggling with suicidal thoughts, she wrote, "I like to just start out by saying that I am so glad that you are still here." The irony of these words, in light of what was to come, is heartbreaking. As her business grew and her influence expanded, the pressure to maintain the perfect image intensified. Her last business post, made just days before her death, was full of optimism about transformation and change. "Lock in with me for 14 days and watch yourself transform, not just mentally but physically," she wrote. No one could have guessed that behind those encouraging words was a woman reaching her breaking point. The duality of her existence became increasingly stark. A successful entrepreneur who couldn't celebrate with family, a mental health advocate battling private demons, a fitness influencer fighting an invisible illness, a relationship expert navigating complicated love. She was, in many ways, living two lives: the curated, inspiring version her followers saw, and the lonely reality she faced when the camera stopped rolling. But nothing could have prepared her followers for what would happen next, as the carefully constructed world Raven had built began to crumble, leading to a series of events that would leave her community shocked and searching for answers. In the days leading up to September 6, 2022, Raven's social media presence remained as vibrant as ever. Her last TikTok video, posted on August 29th, showed her teaching followers how to recover deleted Instagram Reels, a simple tutorial that would later haunt her followers. One commenter would later note, "She's so beautiful, but she looks kind of sad in her eyes." Sometimes the signs are only visible in hindsight. What no one knew was that Raven was fighting her final battle alone in her apartment. The woman who had built an empire, who had taught others to speak their truth, who had created spaces for mental health discussions, was silently slipping away. The tragic irony? She who had saved so many through her mental health advocacy couldn't find the help she desperately needed for herself. When 600 Breezy revealed her passing on Instagram, the initial announcement sent shockwaves through social media. "Baby, why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to us?" he wrote in raw anguish. "I was coming back home, I promised you I would. You just gone leave me forever? You know how many people love you, Raven." But the story took an even more heartbreaking turn. While initial reports suggested she had taken her life at a bridge, the truth was even more devastating. Raven was found in her apartment days after her death, alone. A stark reminder of the isolation she had spoken about so often in her content. The text messages 600 Breezy shared, which he later clarified weren't her final words, but messages from a previous crisis, paint a picture of a soul in tremendous pain. "I'm just tired, baby," she had written. "Living just always seemed overrated. I just don't fit here. I'm not happy in this world. I just can't fake it anymore." Her words about feeling bugs crawling on her skin that wouldn't wash away, about her heart being weak from stress, about her physical pain being dismissed by doctors, they all took on new meaning. This wasn't just depression. This was a complex web of physical, emotional, and mental anguish that had become too heavy to bear. Perhaps most heartbreaking was her concern, even in her darkest moments, about not ruining her relationship with 600 Breezy. "I want to leave here knowing that I didn't fuck this one relationship up," she had written. Even in her pain, she was thinking of others, a trait that had defined her entire life. The aftermath of her death sparked intense discussions about mental health in the Black community, about the pressure of maintaining a perfect image on social media, and about the isolation successful people often face. Her followers shared how her content had helped them through their own dark times, making her loss even more poignant. One Twitter user captured the devastating irony perfectly. The most chilling part about Raven K. Jackson's situation is how beyond relatable it is. Depression, mental health issues are serious and should never be taken lightly. Everyone who suffers from a state of poor mental health is one day choice away from exercising the ultimate. The subsequent drama between 600 Breezy and Queen Key, which erupted even in the wake of Raven's death, served as a sad reminder of the toxic environment that had contributed to her struggles. While they argued on social media, Raven's supporters called for focus on the real issue: the loss of a bright light who had touched countless lives. Raven's own words from earlier that year now read like a farewell note. "Even if I die tomorrow, I don't want anyone to feel guilt for not talking to me. That's probably what I wanted. Use my death for sympathy to get out of work or to get out of jury duty or to simply take a break. Whatever you can use it for, milk it, repost my content and tag me as much as you want. Lie like we were close. I promise once I'm gone, I will not care." But we should care. We must care. Because Raven Jackson's story isn't just another tragic headline. It's a wake-up call. A reminder that behind every motivational post, behind every perfect photo, behind every success story, there might be someone fighting battles we know nothing about. At just 24 years old, Raven had built multiple businesses, inspired thousands, and created spaces for mental health discussions. Yet in the end, she couldn't find the space she needed for her own healing. Her story challenges us to look deeper, to reach out more, to take mental health seriously, especially in those who seem to have it all together. Tonight, somewhere in America, another young entrepreneur is building their empire alone. Another influencer is struggling behind their perfect feed. Another mental health advocate is fighting their own demons in silence. Will we notice their pain before it's too late? If Raven's story has touched you, if it's made you think about mental health differently, if it's made you want to check on your strong friends, don't let this moment pass. Take action. Reach out to someone today. And if you're struggling, remember that your life has value beyond your accomplishments, beyond your social media presence, beyond your ability to help others. This is True Crime Stories. 24/7, bringing you stories that matter, stories that make us think, stories that might just save a life. If you want to hear more stories that shine a light on important issues like mental health, subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell to stay updated on new uploads. Remember, every story we share could be the story that helps someone feel less alone. For immediate help, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline using the contact details in the description below. Someone is always there to listen. Raven Jackson, may your story continue to touch lives, and may your soul find the peace you sought so desperately in life. Gone too soon, but never forgotten. Dear viewers, I want you to remember, we're not just sharing stories here. We're building awareness, creating understanding, and hopefully saving lives. That's the goal and, of course, the mission. This is True Crime Stories. 24/7. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.